Florida State and Georgia are playing in the Orange Bowl in a battle of who wants to be there less. I don't know. I mean, it looks like Georgia at least has players playing, but I'm reading this like I'm going to quote the thing, so don't quote me if I'm wrong. Don't be like, oh, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know. I don't follow Florida State football, but Florida State is down to 19 scholarship players that are available for this game. So they are, I mean, I don't know how this is true.
I don't know if that's
but
true.
I'm looking at these FSU players out, and I know that they're out. Like Jordan Travis out with injury. The backup Tate, he is transferring. He is not going to play. Their QB4 is also transferring. So they have one quarterback, QB3. Don't even know who that is. Hopefully he doesn't get injured, or we're going to end up with an LSU situation where a wide receiver, and it might be like a walk-on wide receiver playing quarterback for Florida State in this game. Obviously, Keon Coleman's out. Jared Verse is out. Wilson's out. Jeff Wilson Jr. So their running back is 1, 2, and 3 are all out of their running backs. I mean, it's like they don't have a team going to the bowl game. And it gets to the point where, like, I know they were talking about protesting and everyone's like, wow, that's a joke. Like, you're just going to look like idiots. But, like, judging by the team that they're going to be bringing to play Georgia, who was the best team in the country and all eyes before the Alabama game. So, and I think everyone agrees they're one of the best 4 teams in the country. Carson Beck's going to be there. He's going to be playing. They don't have a lot of opt-outs. Maybe Brock Bowers won't play. Ladd McConkey. Yeah, I mean, it's not a lot, though. Like, they have basically their full team. I mean, this is going to be like Georgia playing a high school football team.
Yeah,
I don't know how they show up, and even I wouldn't show up not to protest. I wouldn't show up because it's not fair. Like, this is
a lambs to slaughter.
This should be illegal. Like, it should be illegal. What we're going to watch should be illegal. Now, if Florida State comes out there and gives Georgia a game, let's talk about the flip side. With all these opt-outs, we are going to hear an uproar like we've never heard before. An uproar like we've never heard before after leaving them out of the playoff. And if they give Georgia a run for their money, it is going to be – I don't even want to hear it because, like, I frankly don't want that to happen because we will not stop hearing about it for years. It wouldn't just go away after a few weeks. Like, they would never stop talking about it.
Yeah, Florida State's been in the headlines quite a lot recently. Obviously, they got snubbed in the playoff. I think everybody agrees they should be in. I'm thankful they're not because they weren't one of the 4 best teams without Jordan Travis. I've made my thoughts on that very well known that they were not one of the 4 best teams. Hell, they're not one of the 6
Still
best
unfair,
teams
though.
without Jordan Travis. Very unfair. They got shafted. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Then they go out and they're trying to sue the ACC or leave the ACC. They are just embroiled in the headlines. Like, the Florida State hasn't had this much attention since Bobby Bowden. Like, it's been, well, I guess the 2013 national championship, but even before that, Bowden. I mean,
don't
they are.
About Jimbo. Don't forget Jimbo.
Yeah, you're right.
Jimbo's going to the College Football Hall of Fame for that year.
This is absolutely the bowl of who wants to be there less, and it's obviously Florida State because Georgia has this culture of, like, Florida State just had this first year where they're like, okay, we're maybe potentially back on the national stage. Georgia's got a bunch of second stringers who are chomping at the bits to show Kirby Smart and this coaching staff that they're ready to step up next year. So this is 2 entirely different situations. And to that, I mean, there's only like 4 or 5 starters on Georgia's team that aren't playing. Dumas Johnson's not playing. They're starting linebacker. Brock Bowers, Mims, Ladd McConkey's probably not going to play. It's really not that many. And the most important guy in all of this is Carson Beck, and he's playing. So to me, this is going to be an absolute bloodbath. I mean, this is going to be carnage. This is going to be a lambs to slaughter. I mean, Florida State's got guys who were just playing high school ball a couple months ago, thinking like, hey, man, you might get some burn here. Like,
they're going to have legitimate walk-ons playing in this game.
Yes.
Like, they're going to have legitimate, like Turner, if Turner Skian was on Florida State this year, he would be playing. Like, that's the guy that's the guy that we're talking about. Like, he's going to be out there against Georgia getting reps. Like, those are the kind of players. I mean, this reminds me a lot of, we remember it because we're LSU fans if you watch college football closely. But the LSU Purdue game last year, for some reason, I don't know how LSU even got in a bowl game with 6-6 Purdue.
2 years ago.
No, this was last year. 6-6 Purdue or whatever. They went and lost 65. They went and won 67-7, 65-7 or something like that. It was just like, but Purdue, not only were they 6-6 and had no business being there, they would have gotten slaughtered either way. Their coach left. They had all these guys opt out, and they barely had a team. and then they lose 65-7. I mean, I don't see this even being entertaining or fun. It's just going to be sad to watch. And then you're on the other flip side, people are gonna be like, oh, well, this is why Florida State didn't deserve to get in. It's like, dude, they don't even have a team. Like, I don't want to hear any of that either. I don't want to hear any of it.
I'm going to say it on Twitter. I'm going to say it on Twitter. I thought you were talking about the LSU bowl game when Ed O was finally fired, and we had literally 16 scholarship players. John Trey Kirkland, I had classes with the guy, nicest kid ever. Played wide receiver, played quarterback in high school. He was our quarterback against Kansas State. It was at Brad Davis, our offensive line coach, was coaching the game. I mean, it was absolutely abysmal. And you know, we had less scholarship players than Florida State currently has. We had a wide receiver playing quarterback.
That game will forever be known as the Pig Cage game, because Pig Cage
elite.
Pig Cage was a walk-on. He earned a scholarship to UTSA because of that game. So hey. You never know. For Florida State, if you're a walk-on out there, go out and have yourself a game. You could get a scholarship somewhere else. You know, put some film out there. That was the Pig Cage game, I remember. And then I still tweet to Pig Cage to this day, like just a pig emoji, like, and he just loves it, likes it every time. He's like, yeah, we're Pig Cage.
I wish he never left UG or LSU. I mean,
I get started at LSU this year.
He was on the preseason All-American, all-name team for the country. Pig Cage, starting
Pig
safety.
Cage. I mean, you don't get a name like that. I hope we find some good names for Florida State. So yeah, I'm trying to come up with one.
We don't know anybody on this
We're gonna get into the college football playoff. We haven't talked enough about it. We're gonna start with Michigan and Alabama, then we're gonna move to Texas and Washington.